I also lose this Gemini very quickly. Maybe not fun, because people die. Nice ghosts. I don't like mean ghosts. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated releases that come out this summer. So today I'm going to talk about 12 books. I'm going to order this in chronological order, so it'll be from June to August. To me, that would be summer. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm probably not going to have too much in-depth synopses, but I will show you the covers here and talk a little bit about why I want to read it. So these first 3 books all come out on June 1st, and the first book is The Witch King by H.E. Edmond. I believe that's how you would say the last name. I don't think you would say the G. If you do say the G, I wouldn't know how to say it. So this, first off, I love the cover. Love the purple stood out to me, the horns stood out to me, plus size girl on the cover stood out to me. But this is about a transgender witch. That's really all I needed to know. It's an urban fantasy, so it's set in our world, but with witches and some sort of thing with the horns, and it just really spoke to me. So that's pretty much why I want to read it. The first line of the synopsis says, to save a fake kingdom, a trans witch must face his traumatic past and the royal fiance he left behind. I mean, do you need to know any more than that? So yes, that's the first book. I'm very excited for that. Yes. The next book also comes out on June 1st, and that is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. This is, again, it has buzzword witches. The biggest reason I wanted to read this book is because it sounded very similar to my main character. So in my world, at the moment it's named Alicaria. It might change, but I kind of like the name Alicaria. It's split up into the seasons, and my main character is a storm witch, and she has control over the weather. So when I read this, and it has sort of the same kind of premise. So it's about this, I guess, these witches who maintain the climate and keep everything completely normal, but then something happens and they can't control the climate anymore. And we meet Clara, who's an ever witch, and her magic is tied to every season. So that kind of, piqued my interest because it's sort of similar to my book. I mean, it's very different, but also the whole weather and being able to control it and things like that was definitely my realm and what I and sort of start trying to do. I believe there's a romance in this, but really what drew me in was the fact that it's about witches and then they can control the weather. I think that there's a romance in it, but that's kind of all that I know. Okay, so next is the last book that comes out on June 1st, and that is Curse of the Spectre Queen. Love the green. Green's my favorite color. It's also my birth gemstone is emerald, so love green. Obviously my top is also green. But this is interesting because I've read the synopses of all these books, but I read them a really long time ago when I was making my Goodreads list of most anticipated. So a lot of the top stuff I forget. But I do know that this follows a girl, and she used to love fairy tales, believe in all of them, until her father doesn't come home from the war, and she goes back to the antique bookshop, I believe, that they own. If not, it's just that she works there. And one day a battered diary gets delivered there, and soon after there's a whole bunch of people that are hunting her down because they're trying to get the diary. And there was something in the synopsis about the occult, and it just seems like a very fun fantasy thing. Yeah, so I think it's really cool. I think it's also sort of like an Indiana Jones vibe. The last line of the synopsis says, Indiana Jones gets a refresh with a female-driven mystery adventure set in the 1920s, full of ciphers, ancient relics, and heart-stopping action. Love it. I'm very excited for this. Like I said, it comes out on June 1st. Okay, so the next book comes out on June 8th, and it's the only book that comes out on June 8th, and that is Fire with Fire by Destiny Soria. This has a dragon on the cover, and that's really what drew me in, but I believe it's about twins. Basically, they're both born to kill dragons, but I think that at one point they start realizing that the dragons aren't bad. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that people fighting dragons and then finding out that the dragons aren't bad just sounds like a really cool concept for a novel. It's also a story about sisters, so I also really like the dynamic between sisters and reading about that. So like I said, that's the only book that's coming out on June 8th. So the next book comes out on June 29th, And this is a very fun one. I'm gonna put up the cover first. So this is Eat Your Heart Out by Kelly DeVos. And first off, there's a plus size girl on the cover. Second off, there's a zombie on the cover. And this book is basically about a plus size girl surviving in a zombie apocalypse, which, if we know pop culture, typically people who are plus sized were in, I don't know how to describe this, but I would say mid-sized to plus size girl, probably wouldn't survive a zombie apocalypse because I can't run very fast. I also lose stamina very quickly. So yeah, I just think it's gonna be a really fun, funny read about a girl who's trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. It's also a group of characters, but it's mainly her. She also goes to camp, and then there's like her ex-best friend and something else, but that's basically the premise of the book. It just sounds very funny and fun, of like a plus-size girl trying to survive the zombie apocalypse with a group of teenagers, and there's teenage drama, and it's the summer. So yes, love it. The next book comes out on July 6th, and that is This Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron, all of the above, I'm not even sure. But basically, the biggest thing that drew me in was first the cover. Love the cover, love the art style of the cover. But when I read the synopsis, the thing that really stood out to me is the fact that our main character, Bryces, I think is how you say her name, has like a magical gift, and she can like make things grow. I really love the aesthetic of green and the aesthetic of plants and trees and stuff, so just her being able to like grow stuff is cool. So anyway, then her aunt ends up dying, and she has to go to an old school apothecary and like to try and control her magic, and then people start coming to her to make like tinctures and potions to help them, and she does that. And then I believe there's some other thing, some history that she uncovers and dark secrets, and yeah, I mean, it just sounds fun, and maybe not fun because people die, but you know, interesting. So yes, that is that. Oh, by the way, I lied. There's not 12, there's 11. A girl can't count. Okay, so the next book comes out on July 20th, and that is Curses by Lish McBride. This is, I believe, from the cover. First off, the cover would probably give it away, but it is a gender-bent Beauty and the Beast retelling, and that's really all she needed to know. All I needed to know. I don't think anybody else really needs to know any more than that. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's gender-bent, so the girl is the beast, the guy is the guy who's coming in to save her or like turn her back into a human, I believe. I'm sure there's probably going to be some other sort of twist on that, but that's the premise. It sounds very good, I believe. So this one got pushed back because I think this was on my list last year. Maybe last year, maybe the year before, I'm not quite sure. But with COVID and everything, it that did not happen. I think a lot of stuff ended up getting pushed back. So yes, I believe that one got pushed back, but I'm very excited for it anyway, so yes. The next book that I have on this list also comes out on July 20th, and that is These Hollow Vows. Maybe not the only thing, but it has been pitched as A Court of Thorns and Roses meets The Cruel Prince in a sexy, action-packed fantasy. Need I say more? I believe there's a love triangle, but I think it's going to be done well. Hopefully it's going to be done well, but yeah, that's really all I needed to know, is that it is A Court of Thorns and Roses meets The Cruel Prince. Love both of those. Sold. Also, this cover. I don't like real people on the cover, but when they're drawn and they're drawn like this, it's so pretty, and I absolutely love it. So yes, really love this cover. That comes out July 20th. Look out. The next book comes out on August 3rd, and that is The Wild Ones by Nafiza Azad. I'm not quite sure how to say that. I'm probably butchering it, but this cover is amazing. It's about witches, buzzword, witches, and it's a feminist, the tagline says, a feminist fantasy about a group of teenage girls endowed with special powers who must band together to save the life of the boy whose magic saved them all. That's all I needed to know. That's really all I needed to know. So I've requested the wild ones on NetGalley. I doubt that I'm gonna get approved, but you know, you don't know until you try. So a shot. I requested it. We'll see if I get approved. If I do, there will be a very good vlog about me reading it early, and I'm so excited. So yes. Then the second to last book on this list comes out on August 17th, and that is Phantom Heart. Now, what I know about this is it is a sort of inspired by Phantom of the Opera, but it is about this girl. She doesn't believe in ghosts or spirits, but her father is renovating this Victorian mansion, and I think they have to live in the mansion while he is renovating it. And her sister tells, her name's Stephanie, that's my mom's name. Her sister tells her that there's a masked figure in her that's hiding in her closet, and Stephanie is not convinced. But then there's a boy at school who has always loved the history. If you can hear that, my dad and my brother are watching soccer in the living room, and we're in a small house and the doors are not very thick, so probably hear them screaming. Anyway, so she doesn't believe in ghosts, but a boy at school does, and I guess asks her if he can go over there because he's really interested in her and also the house. So they do that, and then apparently there's a guy named Eric who is a ghost in the house. I don't know, it sounds really good. It kind of reminds me of How to Hang a Witch, in the sense of like she moves into an older house, it's in Salem, there's a ghost, he's trying to help her to do something, and yes, yada yada yada. It sounds really good. Love the idea of ghosts in houses. Nice ghosts. I don't like mean ghosts, but nice ghosts in houses trying to help people do something. It sounds interesting. That one comes out on August 17th, and I really want to do a vlog on that one because I love ghosts in old houses. I also would love one day to live in a Victorian style home, although it's very strange because I was talking about it with my dad yesterday. I have very strange tastes in homes, in the sense like we'll watch the like HGTV renovation stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I like, but there's also stuff that I don't like, and then there's really odd, like I would love to have a Victorian home, and I'd like to keep most of the Victorian charm inside, but I would also like to modernize stuff. I don't know, it's weird. My style is very strange. So reading about a person who's renovating a Victorian mansion, it's a given, you know, a given. Last book on this list comes out on August 31st, so literally the last day of summer, or at least the 3 month that I consider summer, and that is The Witchhaven by Sasha Payton Smith. This, I don't know about the cover. The cover seems bland. I don't know if we're getting a new cover, if this is just a placeholder at the moment, but this is first off, it's set in 1911 New York City, and we follow a girl who's a seamstress, and one day she ends up getting attacked in an alley, and she ends up killing the people who attacked her with the sewing needle that she had, but she doesn't know how the sewing needle got from her hands to kill the people. And then a group of people come and tell her that she's actually magical. I don't know if she's a witch, but she's magical. And that she is to attend this school. Witches is a buzzword, obviously. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but witches is a buzzword for me. And this sounds so good. It sounds very kind of dark academia. Oh, that's another thing. So the people who come get her, they are nurses, like they have nurse uniforms, and tell her that she is supposed to be in the sanatorium for crazy people. Reminds me of Lottie from Princess of Bride. She's like doing her mascara. She's like, the only people who wish I'm sad are the children and crazy people. I love that scene. I love Princess and the Frogs. But basically, they tell her that it's a sanatorium, but not really. It's a school, but it's the front of the sanatorium because I guess the only way that they can, like, make the school viable in, like, the eyes of, like, Manhattan or whatever, and to get these people to go, is to make it sound like a loony bin. So that, because people think that the people with powers are loony, but they're not. They just have powers and they learn how to use them. So yes, that sounds amazing as well. So yes, that is all of the books on my list. I am very excited about all of them. I am extremely intrigued to see how many of them I actually read, because a girl's broke and sometimes she can't buy lots of books. But I also requested Witchhaven on NetGalley. I have a few of these requested on NetGalley, so I don't know, maybe a wish will be answered and I will get some of them and be able to read them for you guys, but we shall see. So yes, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Please do also comment below if you want to read any of these, if you're thinking about them or anything like that. And I hope you're having a good day, night, whatever, wherever you are, whatever time it is. I hope you are good, and I will see you in my next video.